Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Michel'le Feaster. I am the Elementary 2019-2020 Teacher of the Year here at Turner Elementary. As an educator, I am most passionate about ensuring that my students attain all the necessary knowledge and skills to shape their destiny and be the change for tomorrow's society. The students you will be watching in this video today are in the third grade. This year is our first year practicing and learning with the new science curriculum known as PhD, which is phenomenon-based. In today's lesson, we will be focusing on Lesson 3. Prior to this lesson, the students in 1 and 2 created an anchor model, which demonstrated their understanding of what a butterfly is and the type of environment it needs to survive and thrive. Thereafter, they created a timeline. This timeline started at the very beginning of Earth's formation all the way down to present day. Both of these models gave the students the background knowledge that they need to understand why butterflies have been able to survive so long, and essentially today's objective is for them to analyze and create fossils to get a basic understanding of how fossils formed. Our lesson is focusing on a fossilized butterfly. We're going to be analyzing that butterfly, finding measurements, and then determining if the same butterfly that was crystallized, or shall we say fossilized 34 million years ago, is the same fossil that created their clay model. Towards the end of the lesson, we are then going to create their own clay models, which we are later going to compare to the two models we began our lesson with. I hope you enjoy.
Objective of your lesson today, paleontologists, is to analyze. Say analyze.
Analyze.
And create.
And create.
Clay fossil models.
Clay fossil models.
To understand how fossils form.
To understand how fossils form.
Your main objective today, boys and girls, is to learn how fossils form. That's all we're doing today. We're going to be analyzing the clay model fossil that I created. You are then going to compare it to that butterfly fossil that we've been looking at, and then you're going to create your own. Throughout this whole process, by the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain in depth. Think to yourself for about 5 seconds. I want to know, how do you think this fossil formed? How do you think this fossil formed? Keep in mind, you've seen this same fossil before. How do you think this fossil formed? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Who can tell me, how do you think this fossil formed, Bryce? Okay, so you think it may have shedded its skin? Okay. How do you think this fossil formed, Diana?
Well, the butterfly probably got stuck in a rock, then years passed, years passed, then formed a fossil.
Okay. Well, real quick, let me remind you what a fossil is. Remember, a fossil is the remains or impression of an organism that lived long ago. What is an organism?
A living
A living thing. So we know that a fossil has to be the remains, meaning like the bones of an animal, or an impression, like when you put your hand in cement and it leaves a handprint in there. It's either the remains or an impression of an organism that lived long ago. Well, would you believe that this is actually just an impression of a butterfly inside of a rock? Yes. So over millions of years ago, the matter that made up that butterfly, meaning like the organs inside of a butterfly, who knows if a butterfly really has organs on the inside, but the matter is anything that takes up space. The matter that made up this butterfly dissolved and left an empty space inside of the rock in the shape of a butterfly. So what do I mean by that? So imagine this is a rock, right? The butterfly dies on top of it. Well, over time, other material and matter begins to fall on top of the butterfly, squishing it in between it, right? Well, think about it. Do you think that butterfly is just going to stay a beautiful butterfly over millions and millions of years? No. What it's going to do is it's going to do what's called decomposing. You're going to learn about decomposing or decomposure in the 4th grade. But that is when something slowly over time decays and leaves nothing behind other than an impression like our butterfly or the bones of an animal. Okay? So I want to know, our phenomenon question for this lesson is, what can we learn by studying fossils? Okay? Our objective overall is to figure out what can we learn by studying fossils. Remember, our curriculum is based on phenomena. So we're trying to figure out what is the big idea. What can we learn by studying fossils? I want you to keep that thought in your mind. And I want to know, who do you think is this person that studies these fossils? What type of person do you think? Down things that you see. You're jotting down things that you see. What do you notice about this clay fossil model? If you were a paleontologist out in the field right now, what would be some significant things that you observe? What'd y'all say?
That they both have antennas, and the difference is that that one is black and brown, but the clay fossil is white.
Okay. Terriana, you got anything to add? That was good, Ivan. If we measure back here, are we going to get an accurate measurement? So where should you measure? How about on top? I see some really good claims with some really good starters. Yes, I believe. No, I believe. Because. About the 2 butterflies. Okay, they both have the shape of a butterfly. We agree or disagree? Agree. I agree as well. Good job. Let's see. Number 10. Give us one similarity and one difference.
They both have 4 wings.
Ooh, she said they both have 4 wings. Do we agree or disagree? Agree. I agree as well. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And on all of your clay models, there are how many? 4. Kalia, can you give us one difference? Ooh, she said, so are they crumbled up on your model or on the model on the screen? Ooh, do we agree or disagree?
Agree.
I kind of agree. What do we notice about the wings on the butterfly on the screen? It's got some holes in it. We see it looks like it got. You may have to shake it. You may have to put your hand in there to grab it. It's okay. Jeremiah, it's okay. It takes clay about a day to harden. So after we make our clay fossil models, we're going to write your name on it and we're going to give it a day to harden. Once you have impressed your butterfly down into your clay, go ahead and take that butterfly out and look at the fossil that you just created. It almost looks like a what?
Spider.
Like a spider. fossil?
The remains or impression of an organism that lives.
Okay, so a fossil is an organism that left remains behind or an impression long ago. The objective of our lesson was to analyze and create clay fossils. What were some of the things that we analyzed? What were some of the things that we looked at that helped us identify those butterflies? Datarius?
We took a butterfly in the clay and see what was similar and what wasn't similar.
Okay, so we looked at some of the similarities and differences. Hey, Kelly? We saw that it had some holes in it, and the other model didn't. What were some of the things that we took to determine if both of those butterflies were the same? We utilized a tool. We did something. Jeremiah? We used measurements. The objective was to figure out, how do fossils form? Who can tell me how fossils form? How do fossils form? Jakira?
They die.
Who is they? What dies?
A butterfly dies, and then if a rock squish it, then more rocks come down, and then it turns black.
Okay. What would that be called? Is it remains or is it an impression?
Remains?
It wouldn't be remains because was anything left behind with the butterfly? No, it left a what, everybody? What did that butterfly leave on that rock? It left an impression. Remember, the butterfly, in our minds, it most likely died. After a while, rocks came and piled on top of that butterfly. The butterfly over time most likely decomposed, meaning it decayed. Its matter slowly decayed away. And after it decayed away, the butterfly fossil left behind an impression. Okay? And we're back. My lesson objective today was definitely met. My students had a lot of great relevant topics and comments to add to the discussion today. They were engaged throughout the entire lesson. They were able to successfully analyze clay models and create their own based off of that foundation that they had on fossils in general. After teaching this segment, we will complete the second part of this lesson where the students will compare the clay fossil model that they created to the fossil model that they were provided and the fossil model that was in our PhD science of the fossil that was created 34 million years ago. Most of the PhD science lessons take about 2 to 3 days to complete. It requires them to critically think and apply any knowledge that they had from the previous lesson to the next current day's lesson. For the most part, about 75% of my class is on grade level. I have about 25% of my students who are a little below, but we still ensure that they get all they need throughout the lessons. I hope this lesson was very informative and intriguing for you as well. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day.